fifth graders, Mrs. Hales here with your next art lesson. Today is day 3 of our chameleon unit. So today we are going to be drawing our tropical leaves or some leaves behind and in front of our chameleon. We're going to go over all of our pencil lines on our leaves, our branch, and our chameleon with either black crayon or with Sharpie. And then if we have time, we're going to start to paint. So supplies you will need today include pencil eraser, your drawing from last week, and you may need your watercolor palette, a water cup, and a paintbrush. And you need a Sharpie or a black crayon. I just drew some small leaves on the end of my tree, and they're kind of just like a little heart almost, and then I made the edges wavy lines. I love drawing these big, giant tropical leaves with the giant cutout sections. The cutouts come in from the edges or the sides of the leaf. So I want to make a little bit of my leaf. I could have made both leaves go behind the chameleon. I want to make a little bit of one of them go behind my chameleon. So they look like stretched out teardrops, these cutouts, or I don't know, kind of like fat Q-tips. What do you guys think they look like? The point of my leaf, the end is a little bit pointy. And then other than that, it's just a big round leaf. And then every like inch and a half or so, I'm going to make these cutout shapes. The cutout shapes are across from each other on this particular leaf. So they cut out and then they get rounder and a little bit bigger in towards the middle of the leaf, the cutout does. You just want to make sure that you don't go all the way through your leaf, obviously, with this cutout shape. So I'm going to make both of these leaves the same behind my chameleon. And I just drew like a giant wavy tropical leaf under the chameleon. I probably could have done 2 or 3 of those under there if I wanted to fill my composition up. Then I'm going to go over all my lines with black Sharpie or black crayon until I have everything outlined. And I wanted to add this texture on his back because their skin is kind of bumpy. I was most excited about painting my chameleon, so that's what I started with first. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, for this project what you start with first. I made these kind of zebra kind of stripes on him in turquoise, and I let them dry. And then I'm going to paint most of him lime green, but I do want him to be a little bit rainbowy looking like the chameleons at the beginning of the video. So I'm going to make him yellow and orange as well. It's okay for you to layer some of your colors, and I would like for you to use some of the watercolor techniques that we practiced. So if you want to use the salt technique on your chameleon's body or on the branch or on some of your leaves, that would be great. If you're at home and you have access to rubbing alcohol and you want to try the rubbing alcohol, that works really great on his skin because it makes it look even bumpier. You don't put your rubbing alcohol dots too close together though. You space them out a little bit. So experiment with some of the layering and painting techniques that we practiced with at the beginning of this unit, where you put yellow over green or you blend. A fun place to do a fade or a blend is on his tail. So I'm going to go from green to yellow to orange to red on his tail. So I've got some orange paint down here, fading to yellow, and now I want to fade to a darker orange. Put that lighter orange under your darker orange, and then put the darker orange, over top, and where they meet, those colors will fade. Remember, wet paint is going to bleed onto wet paper that's next to it, so I didn't wait for mine to dry because I'm making this video, so I just blotted up where the red paint bled onto the yellow part of the tail. I want his belly to be yellow, and I'm going to layer some of that yellow over the green part of his body. I want the outside of his leg to be yellow, and I want the inside of his leg or his arms to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to make them a little bit more orange. I want him to look round, like he has real form. So I'm going to make the top of his back a little bit darker where it goes up to his spikes. And then I want that middle section of his body to be a little bit lighter. I also wanted him to have an orange eye, so I painted his eye orange, and then I let that dry, and I painted around his eye with that green. That's the color of most of his skin. The chameleon I'm striving for has some orange tips on the top of his spikes. He is very colorful. I think that'll be about all you have time to do today. I am going to leave you with some examples or pictures of tropical leaves for you to use as reference. All right, boys and girls, have fun drawing your leaves and getting started to paint your chameleon.